Hi, Gretchen.
Hi.
Welcome to People in Legal.
Thank you very much, Ed. Great to be here.
Fantastic. And how are you finding the event?
Really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Definitely was a little overwhelmed when I first arrived yesterday.
Sure,
It was
sure.
a lot bigger than I was expecting. It's my
Yeah.
first time this year.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
But on day 2, I know the lay of the land. I've sort of made my way around lots of different stalls.
Fantastic.
And actually, I think, it's some of the speakers and some of the events that they've had are amazing. But I've mostly enjoyed these little breakout sections where you just get to
I think it's really
sit in
well
the
created.
sofa
Yeah.
and have a chat with whoever's sitting next to you.
Fantastic. And tell us about why you're here. Tell us about your journey.
Sure. Yeah. So I run Lennon Legal. It's
Yep.
a boutique legal consultancy for
Fantastic.
startups and early stage businesses, SMEs.
Yep.
And we primarily advise companies that are going through funding rounds or
Yes.
maybe they're ready but preparing for exit.
Yep.
We also help them a lot with putting in place EMI schemes or other types of
Yep.
ESOPs,
Yep.
or we help them with their commercial contracts.
Yep.
And we're sort of making a bit of a foray into using AI. At the minute, we
Yeah.
use Perplexity
Yep.
Enterprise,
Yes.
and so we use it sort of helping with drafting, helping with inbox management.
Yep.
But I'm not yet using any specific legal tech tool.
Yep.
And it's been really interesting kind of, walking around all of the different stalls and speaking to different vendors and
Yeah.
understanding. There's obviously,
Yeah.
the market is huge. It's so
Yes.
impressive to see all of the different tools out there, a lot of which are not really suitable for
Yes.
where we operate in the market.
Yes. Yes.
But it's cool to see, what kind of things I actually might be interested in
Yeah.
buying and using and
Yeah.
sort of hopefully, using it to make our work a lot more efficient.
Yeah. And you find you're being catered for because a lot of the exhibitors here are obviously aiming for the big law side.
For sure.
Yeah. Are you being looked after?
Absolutely being looked after. Everyone is incredibly nice.
Yeah.
Definitely, I've had a few conversations where it becomes quite apparent that I'm maybe not quite, or Lennon Legal's not quite the target market for some
Right.
of the larger vendors.
Right.
And that's fine, but,
Yep.
still, people are great. And, there's still some really great merch to be had.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
plenty of freebie hats
Yeah.
and socks and chocolate bars.
Wireless chargers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's some really cool freebie merch going on. I think maybe, as I say, I'm probably not really the target market, and there's also probably not as much money in sort of the sort of end of the market where I operate. So maybe the big vendors are like, we'd much rather concentrate on the huge law firms. But I'm hoping that, I don't know, maybe next year there'll be a lot more vendors who are specifically targeting more SME or even sort of boutique style law firms or legal consultancies.
Yeah. Tell us about your journey to forming your own business. So
Sure. So I trained and qualified at 𝘰𝘰𝘰𝘭𝘴,
Yeah.
and I was an associate there. I was at Nathan's for about 7 or 8 years. And the original plan was to just sort of take a break, take a break from London. I went to 𝘤𝘰𝘰𝘭𝘴 in the Swiss Alps.
Oh.
With the intention of doing one ski season.
Right.
And that was in 2014.
Oh, okay.
And I still live there now.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I pretty much never left. The ski season, that happened quite quickly. And at the end of the winter, I sort of decided, well, I definitely know I still want to be a lawyer, or I certainly don't want to work in the sort of,
in the city.
chalet companies in ski resorts or in the city.
Yeah.
I kind of got introduced to a few people who were working as legal consultants. Back in kind of 2014, this was sort of like an unheard of thing, really,
Yeah.
or a much less heard of thing.
Yeah.
And I figured out that, I could still be a lawyer, be self-employed, work as a consultant, grow my own business, my own client base, but also work for other legal consultancies at the same time. And then maybe about 4 or 5 years into that journey, I made the decision to no longer work for any other businesses, as a sort of
Focus
ad
on
hoc legal
yourself.
consultant. Exactly, just purely focusing on Lennon Legal, building out the team, building out the client base, and
what a journey.
Yeah, it's great. Being a lawyer and also being a founder of a small business comes with lots of challenges.
Sure.
It's even still now, however many years down the line, I'm not sure I've still got the balance right of doing enough of the client work versus doing enough of the sort of business management side of things.
Sure.
Every day is different.
Yeah. What are your biggest challenges that you that you need to solve on a day-to-day basis? Is it more like, how do you try to duplicate yourself or duplicate your expertise?
For sure. One of my biggest challenges is, time management. And as I say, the balance of sort of, what I'm prioritizing in any given day or week. But I would say where we are specifically in terms of challenge within the legal space is we're almost like in the middle of this sort of pincer movement where there's lots of tech platforms that are servicing very, very early stage companies.
Yes.
You've got your sort of seed legals, vested, founder catalyst,
Yes.
which are great, and they're a really good budget option for the sort of bootstrap early stage startups.
Yep.
But then you've got the much, much bigger firms who I think are kind of catching on to the incredible sort of business opportunity and market opportunity of servicing early stage startups that can really, sort of skyrocket, because, there are plenty of them. We hear about unicorns all the time, particularly now with AI. And so you get a lot of bigger firms kind of looking down and trying to get those really, really small clients and offering them incredibly competitive packages. I mean, I know of one firm, can't remember exactly what the deal is, but it's, we'll be your lawyer for free until you raise X amount in your fundraising. And then, you're sort of locked in with us for however many years later, and we'll manage your documents and so on. But at that stage, you've done a few funding rounds.
I think there might be some people pressing rewind there just to repeat what you said, but yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. To reiterate, there are some big law firms offering legal services to, like really early stage startups for free, and actually doing, offering them quite an impressive suite of documents and a lot of legal support. And the sort of the catch, if you like, is just once you've raised X amount of fundraising, you then remain with us as your lawyer, and therefore you then start paying us legal fees for whatever is next in your journey. And that's an incredible offering that little old Lennon Legal can't really compete with.
I mean, law to me is still a people business.
For sure, absolutely.
And is that how you're going to counter some of that, or differentiate that?
That's exactly it. And you've really hit the nail on the head. And both with that as a challenge and just AI in general as a sort of a new challenge that we're sort of facing in the market, because lots of clients, particularly early stage founders who are, very competent and, very sort of tech savvy. Understandably, a lot of them take the view, well, how complicated can this be? Surely with, a bit of Claude and a bit of common sense, I can do my own drafting.
Not quite.
Well, not always, I think, is the answer. And so absolutely, to answer your question, the sort of the USP or the differentiator is you need to have a bit of human expertise in the loop, but it also needs to be cost effective, personable, approachable, non-intimidating. And you also want to know that, you're not just sort of getting palmed off with the, the trainee or the junior lawyer because you're a low value client. So that's sort of how we're positioning Lennon Legal, that you're still getting kind of partner level advice and support, but in a very friendly and non-intimidating way.
Absolutely.
And you're a priority client, not a sort of bottom of the pile client.
And what industries are your SMEs, your clients in?
Industry agnostic, so all the way across sort of retail, tech, F&B, basically anything at all. I mean, tech, just because of the nature. Well, apart from the sort of what they call the SaaS apocalypse now, there are a lot of very, very fast growing tech companies. And I think, their startup costs tend to be a lot lower traditionally. So it's easier for them to kind of get off the ground and grow more quickly than maybe a sort of like, like a manufacturing company, a hardware specific company, or a retail company, or a consumer product company, whatever it may be. But we work with clients across all different industries.
And in terms of, you said you're based in Verbier, so do you deal with EU and UK law?
Well, no. So I personally live in Verbier, but the team and Lennon Legal, we are a UK law firm. So we pretty much only advise UK businesses. And the rest of our team, they all work remotely as well. We've got another team member in Portugal. We've got most of the rest of the team are based in the UK. Someone else splits his time between the UK and the French Alps.
So it's a real international business as well.
Well, a real remote working business. It's really like, and again, sort of post-COVID, everyone's really adopting the more sort of agile, flexible, work from home kind of culture. So it's basically lawyers who, have come up through a more traditional career path and just want to do something more flexible and more innovative and interesting, and working with earlier stage clients as well.
Definitely see the attraction there. Definitely see the attraction. And in our sort of this is the Legal Tech Talk. There's a lot of oncoming technology. Some of it might be a bit, perhaps a little bit threatening to you. Some of it might help you. What do you think are the biggest tech issues that you're going to deal with in the next 12 months?
I think for me, twofold. One of the biggest issues, and particularly, being at this event, is trying to make the right decision about what are the right tech tools or products to basically go all in on.
Yep.
And, it's been great speaking to some vendors because, they're doing a lot of sort of free trials. So
Yes.
you can sample something without kind of making a 12-month subscription commitment.
Yep.
But at the same time, a 2-week or a 30-day free trial only gets you so far. You still then have to make the decision, implement it, get the whole of the rest of the team
Yep.
bought in with it. And, all of the kind of culture of change that brings.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that I get the decision right, whatever decision I ultimately make.
Yes.
So I definitely see that as a bit of a challenge.
Yep.
But, still something to be embraced. I think I just have to, just go for it.
Yes.
And then I think one of the other challenges that we definitely see is, again, kind of going back to the idea of the clients sort of thinking that with the sort of access to AI tools, they can perhaps circumvent or circumnavigate the need for lawyers and save themselves on legal costs.
I mean, you really don't want them to start producing 100 documents, then come to you to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Please fix my issue. Sorry.
Yeah, we've done all of this ourselves and it doesn't quite work. I mean, we see a little bit of that, and everybody kind of learns the hard way. A little.
Yep.
But I think it's more also, I suppose, communicating the message that, the AI tool, whatever that you use, the output is only as good as what you can put into it.
Yep.
And so, and likewise, the output is only as reliable as you can sort of like spot the, maybe not necessarily the errors, but the omissions.
Yeah.
Like if there's a gap in what you're being told, but you don't necessarily know that because it's not your area, then it's something that will just get missed and overlooked, and, these little things can then snowball. So I guess for us, it's more this kind of message of, use your AI tools absolutely by all means. We all do, and anyone who's not is frankly getting left behind. But do so with an element that you can't just blindly trust whatever is coming out of it.
That's a very good point.
So, again, this sort of idea of like human in the loop or human lawyer in the loop. By all means, have a stab at it, and it's probably the more you do it, the better you will get at it as a client, as a sort of man on the street. But it is still quite important, I think, to kind of come to the human expert for the verification or the validation at the end.
And long may that be the case.
I hope so. Exactly.
Gretchen, thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So lovely to chat to you.
Awesome. And where can people find you if they need to?
So LennonLegal.com is our website. Likewise, you can find us on LinkedIn or on Instagram or TikTok.
There you go.